Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Time for another edition of Comic Book Quickies! If you're new around here, Comic Book Quickies is a segment where we look at very quick comic book related material that isn't a full issue of something. Instead, it's mini comics, short stories, and most especially one-page advertisements for Hostess products. Last time, we celebrated Beast Wars' 20th anniversary with a look at a comic featuring the original toy versions of several characters, like Alligator Megatron and Bat Optimus Primal, a villain fighting Spider-Man who was called Printout Man, yet was patterned after a punch card, Toothpaste teamed up with Captain America, and we bore witness to the horror that was Spiromania. Spiromania is running wild! So what about this time? Well, let's dig into some quick comic book related material and see where the madness takes us.
He's a dingo man in his dingo boots, and he knows what it's all about.
Back in Comic Book Quickies number 4, we were introduced to Johnny West, a brave cowboy who could stop bullies by standing there. Because the true weapon for opposing jerks is footwear, boots in particular, and that's why we need to bring back light-up sneakers. No, seriously, kid tries to steal another kid's horse, doesn't try again when the kid returns in a pair of Acme boots. And it's all thanks to Johnny West, hero of the wherever the hell he was. But I guess in the intermediate time, somebody realized, wait, Johnny West didn't actually do anything. The power was all in the boots. And so people just grabbed a pair of boots to fight crime. Thus we come to this little ad comic, The Dingo Kid Trips a Thief. You'd think that that's a crappy title, but the plot twist is that he's actually 35. Some kids are walking away from a football game. Wow, that was some game.
Man, that was a good movie, An Inconvenient Truth.
That Joe Namath sure can pass. Boy, he sure can do that thing he's supposed to do in the game. Yeah, football player Joe Namath, in case you didn't know, was apparently a big endorser of these dingo boots, hence the inclusion here. Look, isn't that his car? How do you kids know what Joe Namath's car looks like? Are you stalking Joe Namath? Anyway, there appears to be a guy trying to steal the car. I'd make a remark about how he's doing this in broad daylight with hundreds of witnesses, but the thing is that most people don't know what Joe Namath's car looks like, or presumably his license plate number, since that'd be the only way the kids could know that specifically was his, so I could see them overlooking a dude just trying to get into their car. But anyway, one kid decides to try to stop him. Instead of lying and saying it's his own car, or just pushing the dumb kid right the hell over, the thief just decides to make a run for it. Try and catch me, punk! Ha ha ha! And the kid trips him, somehow getting ahead of him in order to do that.
Space is warped and time is bendable.
Down you go! That's what you get for wearing Nikes, dumbass! Conveniently, a cop is nearby, who arrests him. Thanks, kid. We've been after this one for a long time. He keeps trying to sniff Joe Namath's car seat. And soon, Joe Namath himself comes out of the stadium, dressed like the Joker. Geez, 1970s, what was your deal? Anyway, Joe Namath asks what's up. Seems this character wanted to take your car for a little ride, Joe. You idiots, that's the valet parking guy. But your fan, here, unnecessary commas, tripped him up. How'd you do it? With my dingoes.
The dingo is mad!
Dingo? That's my boot, too. Well, from one dingo man to another, nice going. Boy, is Joe Namath gonna be pissed when he learns the kid's boots are knockoffs. Thanks, Super Joe. The true origins of Angry Joe. And so the advertisement ends with a kid asking for Joe Namath's autograph. Sure thing. Hey, Dingo Kid, give him your autograph. You're the hero today. Gee, Joe Namath, I guess you're right. Okay, kid, that'll be $40 for that autograph. And now, excerpts from the Super Dictionary with that guy with the hat. Draw. Robin wanted to draw in his book. He wanted to make pictures. He drew a picture of Wonder Woman on the moon. Next up, we got ourselves a bit of the 90s to destroy our teeth with. An ad for Brock's Rocks. Yes, Candy Rocks. Basically just purple, weirdly colored jelly beans from what I could find out. I admit I never had them back when they were around, but hey, they might have been good. As far as I can tell, they were a thing in 1992 and 1993, but I don't know when they were discontinued, assuming they were at all. All the info I could find on them spoke about them in the past tense. But of course, we're not concerned with the confectionery itself, but rather their method of promoting it. Introducing Rocky D, Dinosaur Extraordinaire. So in this universe, being a dinosaur is a profession? Some kids encounter Rocky D as he sits on top of a pink car. Hey, it's a dinosaur! And he's rubbing his ass all over my car! Actually, that does raise the question. Rocky D is wearing a leather jacket, but no pants? Also, what school does he go to earn that jacket? Or did he eat someone that belonged to and it just happened to fit? By the way, this is also technically how the last one started. Is one of these kids gonna try to kick the dinosaur's ass in his dingo boots? Anyway, what's his response to the kids? Wrong, Brontosaurus breath! Rocky D is incredibly prejudiced against other dinosaur species. I'm not just a dinosaur, I'm Rocky D, Dinosaur Extraordinaire! But my real passion is sunglasses modeling. Confronted by a walking, talking, clothes-wearing dinosaur, naturally the kids only have one question on their minds. Wow, you eat rocks? The result of our educational system, my friends. Rocky D informs them that he's not eating those hard things you find on the ground. You mean the roadkill? Well, actually, I do eat that too. But of course, Brock's rocks. They look just like rocks! And nothing really like whatever the hell it is Rocky D is eating. Unless he created some kind of giant version of one with a geode filling. They don't taste like rocks. And I should know, I'm an expert on that. Now you can get your rocks from Brock's! Use this on your engagement ring and save a ton of money! Now let's get rockin'! This remake of We're Back, a Dinosaur Story is even weirder than the original. Before I did Comic Book Quickies, I did an episode on comic book advertisements in general. One thing I discovered that I hadn't really known about, wireless controllers for the NES. And it seems Acclaim decided to up their game with it, as they now present Kid Remote in The Power to Move. Geez, earlier the Dingo Kid and now Kid Remote.
Everyone's got a gimmick now.
We begin with the titular Kid Remote trying to play his NES. The kid was at the end of his rope. Or rather, he's completely wrapped himself in a controller's wires. How the hell do you even do that? Stuck in a rut. Oh, I see. He did it because he was bored. Well, sorry kid, but it's not our fault that you accidentally bought Mario is Missing. When out of the blue, a friggin' cloud shows up and there's a bolt of lightning. Holy crap, that's not Kid Remote, that's Captain Marvel! The lightning bolt, I guess, replaced his controller with the Acclaim remote? You know, that other controller was still perfectly good, and I'm pretty sure you only got one dude. Now the kid can put the moves on the WWF superstars.
I've had partners that have let me down. Why got a partner now that isn't going to let me down?
And good lord, those wrestlers are trying to come out of the TV like this was the friggin' ring. I mean, could you imagine if Sadako was the Ultimate Warrior?
You can feel it, dude! You can feel it!
Next, he somehow used the controller to take out a giant? What hit me? The Acclaim remote! I chucked it right at your head! Airwolf encounters the enemy. Eat some rapid fire! Wait, is he inside the games? He's not only Captain Marvel and Kid Remote, but apparently he's also Captain N! Battling with Iron Sword. The Remote's 30-foot range keeps the kid out of danger. Yeah, that 30-foot range is really doing him some good when that monster is 2 feet in front of him. Playing with Nintendo will never be the same. I can believe that. It makes your left arm huge! And now, excerpts from the Super Dictionary with that guy with the hat. Pig. A pig chased Atom. A short, fat animal with 4 legs and a little curly tail chased him. Atom does not like pigs anymore. Let's end things with what we're really all here for. A comic where superheroes resolve a situation not with their incredible powers, but with pastries. It's Superman versus the Laughing Gas Bandits. Man, the follow-up to Superman versus the Terminator is not what I was expecting. Said Laughing Gas Bandits are pumping pink smoke down into the crowds below, truly showing how serious this situation is. Heh, them yokels will be easy picking once they sniff this nitrous oxide, otherwise known as laughing gas. Steve, stop providing exposition. We was all at the meeting. And Superman up there can't touch us because this laughing gas is spiked with kryptonite. And thanks to the minute amount of radioactive material in kryptonite that can hoit humans over a long period of exposure, that means we might be potentially mass moitering all them people who are breathing this in. That's kind of messed up now that I think about it. He'll just have to foil some other crime for now. Well, it's not like he was gonna stop you guys anyway. You see, your crime is over there, and over there has to take care of its own problems. Soups flies off instead of, using his super breath to just blow the laughing gas away so that he can get in close to apprehend them, or using his heat vision just from a distance to destroy the machine pushing out the laughing gas. Things he can do with his powers. But yeah, with him going away, the bandits head down to the crowd so they can start robbing them, although they're doing so without any gas masks. The implication seems to be that they're no longer pumping out the gas, but doesn't that mean Superman could just return now? He's got to be monitoring this from a distance. Anyway, as they start going through people's stuff, because apparently laughing gas makes you incapable of fighting back against robbers, they spot a hostess salesman with a bunch of fruit pies in hand. So don't just stand there looking stupid, let's relieve him of his delicious burden. See, what's funny is that it kind of is a burden when you consider how much power hostess products have in that universe. That stuff's worth more than the kryptonite they were using. They, of course, begin eating and exclaiming how much they love the fruit pies. That's 'cause of the light tender crust! Yum! Maybe it's 'cause of the real fruit filling in apple and cherry. Yeah, but surprisingly, the fruits they used for the filling were avocado and eggplant. However, it turns out that the hostess salesman was Superman in disguise. What? Superman in disguise? It ain't fair! I mean, how the hell did he get here so fast without anybody noticing? Did he steal those clothes? Where'd he get the fruit pies? And wait, why didn't he just fly in normally if he can breathe around here normally now? Hacks! I call hacks! Enjoy those hostess fruit pies, boys. Where you're going, you may not get any more for a long, long time. He says that, but due to the amount of criminals who have become addicted to the things, they've devoted entire hospital wings of prisons to feed the fruit pies to them intravenously, or they start suffering withdrawal symptoms. So, what have we learned from today? Well, I learned that drawing Wonder Woman on the moon is not so far-fetched when a wireless controller makes wrestlers come out of the TV. We also learned that Joe Namath, even with his dingo boots, will never be as cool as a dinosaur relaxing on the hood of a car. Also, that Ray Palmer is not a fan of pigs. Next time, back to Patreon-sponsored reviews for 2 weeks, neither of which are really comic book related. And yet people have been asking my opinion about the first one for years now. Next week, going to look at the first 4 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Somehow I doubt they're as bizarre as this episode has been.
That comic book
Be it ever so humble, there's no place like a crashed spaceship on the moon. This place has seen better days. Alright, let's take a look at the... Dude, you okay?
It's nothing, I have had allies before in my war with the entity. Some died, some left, one or two betrayed me. But this ship, I realize now that after everything I've lost, everything that has happened to me, this ship was my home, my constant ally, my best weapon against the lost beast. Then it was stolen from me, and now it is a ruin. I have fought this war a long time. The world that I swore to defend was long ago taken by the entity. And after this, I've lost everything. I sometimes wonder what I'm still fighting for.
A world that is more radical than sadical.
Indeed. Multiple hull breaches, the superstructure stability is compromised, the lowest levels have been compressed, and the towers have been destroyed. Multiple systems have been completely removed. I admit surprise that there is even an atmosphere with such damage and the loss of primary power.
We were able to patch auxiliary systems to create an atmosphere on the bridge and a few other sectors of the ship while we were stripping it for usable parts. It was easier to do that than work in spacesuits.
I applaud your ingenuity and efficiency. This will be less difficult than I had initially believed.
I don't even know what you're hoping to accomplish here. This place is a wreck. You're not going to be able to get this thing flying again.
There is one constant to all beings I have encountered across the multiverse, from both enemy and allies. It is that they all underestimate me.
Dude, I never underestimated you, but I was the chief mechanic on this ship for years. It's totaled.
Linksano, have you completed the computer core stabilization?
Just a moment. Done. She should be transferring now.
Connection established.
Nims! We're made! Chill out, dude! She's still on our side!
This unit has been acting in an observatory capacity to report on the activities of the entity.
But she could be infected, just like the gun was!
A sensible concern, but it has been accounted for. The computer is not infected.
How the hell do you know?
I am Vice.
You're an asshole.
So, computer, we meet once again. I am not so vain that I will underestimate you or your abilities again.
You will refer to me as Nimue or not at all.
Of course. Nimue, are you integrated with the ship's systems once again?
Due to internal damage, this unit can only interface with 22% of the ship's computer systems.
That will be sufficient. Nimue, engage priority V7.
Unable to comply. Correction. Priority V7 located and engaged. This unit does not understand.
What the hell did you do to her?
Nothing. While I admit respect for a worthy opponent, she is a computer. I simply gave her access to the ship like never before.
Information. New data about internal functions has been processed.
Excellent. Activate the Forge. Begin primary protocols.
Scanning surrounding area for required material.
You better start explaining yourself or I'm gonna...
Linksano, tell him.
The hidden functions of Comicron 1, of course!
Eh?
A lot of Comicron 1's abilities have been locked out from us, like the temporal shields. Comicron 1 is a very powerful warship, but we've never been able to access all of it before. It was specifically designed that it needed Vice to operate.
How does that help us?
You take me for an arrogant fool, Fine Voice. I am prideful, perhaps, but I am not stupid. I have fought many wars and conquered many worlds, and I did not always win every battle. But every time I fought, I improved myself. I learned from my errors, and I got better, as did my ship. The temporal shields are but one ability of my magnificent craft. Behold now, the Forge! capable of manufacturing any objects that may be called upon, replicating metal into material by drawing from any transmutable substances within a close proximity. But while it was often employed for small-scale production of shades and weapons, it has proven far more useful time after time for self-repair.
Structural integrity is shoring up, dudes! Hull breaches are sealing! Bodacious!
Not the word I would use, but it is adequate. I have fallen before, but I have always risen again, reforged and renewed. The entity mocked me, likened me to a would-be slayer of dragons. Well then, I am Lord Vice, and this is my sword! Your move, champion.